I would like to help you set up a lab template for your lab reports. Because most lab reports have the same exact section, it is useful to set up what's called a template and then fill in the things that are useful for that particular lab and then delete things you don't need. So here's what I would do if I were you. You'd have a lab title first, right? And this would, here's your template. You need your name and anyone that you worked with and the date that you did the lab, right? Here's when you would write the question. This section here, this next section is all of your experimental design. So you need a question, which is the task written into question form. Here's your methods and materials, right? We just type a paragraph. We don't do step by step. I don't find that so useful. You make a paragraph, use first person, I don't care what tense you use, and you describe what you did, what tools you used, and how you used them. We don't use lists, we use complete sentences to describe in a very narrative form what it is you're trying to do. So, and then you also include a picture in that section, picture of your setup. You can draw a diagram, you can actually take a photograph, but you put that in that section also. So write yourself a note to put a picture, right? Include picture. Then you would copy and paste your observations, usually from Excel where you would have recorded them. Usually you also need screenshots, especially from Capstone, just of an example that you might have used. The analysis section is where things get a little more variable because each lab is a little bit different. You might have sample calculations, you might have a graph, you might have a mathematical model, you might be doing error analysis. Every lab is going to have sources of experimental error, and you might have some discussion questions as part of your analysis, especially based on what we did during class together. So that would be data analysis. And then the last part of each lab, you need your CER. Now this is written as one paragraph, but I've broken it into the 3 parts. You have a sentence for your claim, you have 1 to 2 sentences for your evidence, and you include your reasoning, that's 1 or 2 sentences. So keep it very concise when you are writing this. And those are the sections. So if you keep this as your lab report template, when you do a lab, you can come right here and you can make a copy and then change it to lab 1, Ohm's law, right? Or whatever lab it is that you're doing, and then so that you don't over type this or type over it. Okay, so that would be my suggestion. It is not mandatory. It's just supposed to be something helpful.